Hello. Hello. You can question me today the questions regarding poetry. So, if you have any question related to the literature, the poems in your collection, uh, you can question on that. Okay. You can comment on and ask about the questions related to the poems. What any poem in your syllabus? What? Yeah, you ask the questions, then I will respond. Yeah, we should cover all the poems in our syllabus. Like you need to cover all. But when the questions coming, you will be getting only one context question. But the thing is, we don't know from which poem we are getting. So you need to cover the whole anthology. And you can download the anthology from internet. Then yeah, we have to cover all the poems. And we are getting context question and essay type questions. So essay type questions, they will give you an option. You have to select one and answer, but context, they are giving only one context question. So you better cover the whole poem, the anthology. You can get the printouts like this. You can print it out. It comes like a PDF. When you download it, you can get the printout and then you can mark down the notes when you are doing poems with your teachers. Okay. Any other question related to your poems? Janani, yes, when writing essay type questions, when they are not written without comparing. What's that? When you write essay type questions, when they are not written without comparing, that means I didn't get it. In one passage describing the 3 poems we have, like sometimes you get combined questions. I think you might be asking about combined questions. Huh? So in the introduction, you have to mention about all 3 poems, three or like they mention in the question or two poems or 3 poems like that. So in the introduction, you have to talk about all the poems, the poems that you are going to discuss, 2 poems or 3 poems, you have to mention it in the introduction, then separately take them in other paragraphs. Like one poem in one separate paragraph, then the other poem. don't mix up them in one para. Like separately, you have to talk about. Mm. Okay. Any other question? If you have a doubt related to any the theme of any poem or anything, you can ask. Mostly these days we are getting combined questions, like rather than getting one a question based on one poem. These nowadays they most of the time give combined questions. Even last year they gave a combined question, so like it comes like that. Mm, so okay, I will discuss a bit about the theme, the two themes on the poem To a Snowdrop. Uh, you can basically see the two themes as one as alluring beauty of nature, and another theme, the impermanence of life and everything around. So the two themes of what To a Snowdrop by William Wordsworth. So, if we talk under the theme of alluring beauty of nature, you can see the beauty of nature, how it is conveyed. It is conveyed by first personifying the snowdrop as a shy guest, then placing the flower like. Um Next part, you can see the flower is placed with the bright jonquils. The nature's beauty, then writer has enhanced the beauty of nature. The blue-eyed May, like through personification, writer highlights the beauty of nature. And the blue sky, writer provides an ideal background for for these beautiful flowers, and what the soft west wind personification of that, also the sweet smell comes from the flowers, how that sweet smell is scattered everywhere by the wind, and how the sweet snowdrop remains in a graceful position. Writer highlights. So the writer highlights the flower as a silent observer of transient seasons. Then it is as the in the poem, the last line, it is mentioned a pensive monitor of fleeting years. So the writer highlights how this flower has become a silent observer of the transient seasons, like moving from the season of death or the season of the cold season to the spring season, winter to the spring. In generally, we highlight like we use winter for the death and a spring for life. So a pensive monitor, like writer tries to bring out a philosophical idea in that. Mm. And the second theme is like what the second theme is conveyed by the um, sense of what the change of the seasons. Mm. Then how the snowdrop remains undisturbed, how it was undisturbed, although with like although the flower is very fragile, very soft, but how it was undisturbed during the winter season. The theme, the writer highlights it with the last line, as I told you earlier. Most flowers are like we mostly have seasonal flowers, which like those flowers are decorating particular season. So the snowdrop happens to be like a seasonal flower, like it moves from winter to the spring, and also the flower survives in the harsh winter season, and it enters the spring like what like a very pensive monitor, very thoughtful person, like a very comprehensible character, understanding kind of like in a very philosophical level. It moves on to the spring season, uh, and how it could survive and how it could welcome like a harbinger, how it could welcome the spring season. Okay. Right. You can ask any question related to the other poems, anything if you want. Uh, among school children, yeah. Okay. Among school children, poem number what? Number 12, no? Among school children, I will explain about the theme of it. Shafia, yes, we have to mention the theme of the, sorry, genre of the poem. Yes, it's better, like even in context questions, in your introductory paragraph, it is better to mention the genre, like the poem belongs to the genre of what, like whether it's a lyric or sonnet or ballad or what, right? You better mention that. Yeah, Asuni, what the poem Among School Children, it is based on human mortality, the human beings born and die. death is a part of life. So the poem is about mortality and the fragility of human life, like how fragile the human life, because we know it's like a glass, like it's very fragile. Like we have seen in our lifetime, we have seen people die. Like we don't know. I might die now. Like we don't know. Like people can anybody can die at any moment. We cannot predict the life. That is how the life is. So that aspect of life, the mortality and the fragility, how fragile, how soft, uh, the fact that it can easily broken. So there the Yeats, what he did was like he while observing the classroom, Yeats realizes that youth does not last. He mentions in the poem several times that old scarecrow. He then is stuck with the idea that aging or the death, those are inevitable parts of human life. We cannot stop aging, we cannot stop the death. Those are inevitable. Then he talks about how in everyone, even like he talks about the philosophers, Pythagoras, or like he mentions, no, I can't. Yeah, Plato, Aristotle, Pythagoras in stanza 6, he mentions, he talks about those philosophers. They are not capable of what uh, they could not go beyond the death. So the poem also poses the question of the value of life, and of its and about itself. Then throughout the stanzas, he's trying to find the answer and understand the mortality of human life. Then how even if Modgon was there, then Modgon also would grow old. His youth, even though he won the Nobel Prize even, but he could not stop growing older. Growing older was a part of life. It's a part of life. So at the end of the poem, he comes to the conclusion that you cannot look back at life and only see the big things that have happened. So you might no moderations in life, and in the end, he mentions in the last stanza, you cannot separate the dancer from the dance. You can like that. So the things, root and the tree, or the dancer, dance, music, all these things are interconnected. So death is interconnected with life. If you're born, you will definitely die. So death is a part of life. So that is the idea he highlighted through the poem. Among school children, the setting, it's a classroom. He has taken a classroom as the setting. Genres also, like even now in this one, Yeats' poem, among school children, the genre, it's a little different genre. No, you all might have learned the genre, we call it as Ottava Prima. So they are the poet. Hmm. The You find the arrangement of stanzas of 8 lines. With 3 rhymes. First line, the 6th line rhyming alternatively, and the last two forming a rhyming couplet. So that is a different genre. It's a kind of like epic heroics, that kind of a genre. It's in a classic form, you can say. Any other question? Fisherman mourned by his wife. Even that poem you find about the death, how death, like how risky human life is, the values of human life, like the risk we take in our life. What else? Youth, your understanding. Then the concept of marriage and how it it is like when you grow up in a relationship, when a relationship grows up, then what kind of values are there, how you get attached to each other, how you understand a person. The way that woman understood the husband, um, how it happened, then how their relationship develops, and how she grows up, like how she became mature throughout the poem. No? When you see the last stanza of the poem, you can see how she grew mature. No? Like at that point, she was not like the woman who married, like at the point she married, she it happened as a proposed marriage, so she was, both of them were very immature, very young, very immature, inexperienced. So that is also highlighted in the stanza 1. But when it comes to the last stanza, she has become a very practical woman, very strong woman. How she learned about those things, the different values of human life. How you gain experience in life. Mm. Any other question? Mm. Mm. The allusions, memory of Mr. Oldham. What's the number? The poem memory of, yeah. Uh, Yeah, the young friend here, Mr. Oldham, is John Dryden. He's talking about the title of the poem refers to John Oldham. He was a 17th century satirist, that a friend of Dryden, a person that Dryden greatly admired, and he died in around like 1683, like at the age of, he was around 30 when he died. So the poem published the following year, as a like John Dryden wanted to do two things here. Like one was like he wanted to make a tribute to his talented friend, uh, the the uh, the person who was talented and his talent gone too soon with his death. So he wanted to talk about his person. The poem, it's an elegy. So he highlighted about the talent and the capability of. He wanted to give an honor to his friend, uh, John Oldham. That's why he said to the memory of Mr. Oldham. Then, in order to prove, it was a technique at that time, especially they used to have allusions as a technique. So through the allusions means like incorporating stories, sometimes biblical stories, into poems, and uh, so you read the story, then when that story it's there, like you can understand the poem better. Mhm. So with that particular allusion, the poet invokes the friendship between Nisus and Aurelius, no? The two figures who appear in Virgil's what especially Dryden wanted to refer to their friendship. So then there he said one died at young age, but the other person won and like that. I said two things that Dryden wanted to do. Like one is to tribute his friend. Other one is he wanted to appreciate his own writing. He wanted to highlight his own writing. Mr. Oldham didn't. You cannot say he didn't achieve. He was a satirist. He used to write poems. So John Dryden wanted to appreciate. That's why he said uh, like he's using this allusion, and also the the making an honor to his friend. Then even the last one, he talks about Marcellus, that also a person who died at very young age. So these allusions, like once again, to appreciate, like he could achieve as a satirist, but John Dryden here wanted to, like while giving the tribute, he wanted to outshine he himself as a poet, that he could go beyond that. He could, like, he wanted to appreciate, or he wanted to highlight his own writing. So while appreciating his friend, that's why, like, you can say, like, than John Oldham, Dryden's writing was like, you can see how it outshines, how it goes beyond. Uh, like here it says, no, Nisus loses his footing, which allow Aurelius, who had been trailing, who come behind and win. So this is of course parallel for the relationship between Oldham and Dryden. Like one uh, Nisus, the person who lost the race, he slipped. But other person, Aurelius, he won it. So that indirectly talks about, while Oldham died at young age and stopped his career, Dryden could won it, or Dryden could overcome all the difficulties. That's it. Okay. Right. Any other question? Yeah, you're welcome. Do you have any other question regarding your poems? Mm. Darkness and corruption in Remember, that is about, I can send you some links for that poem. Can you send me a WhatsApp message? I will send you a note for that. Mm. About the poem Remember. Send me a message on WhatsApp. I will, Shafia. Yes, I will send you a note for that. Explosion. Yeah. Any other question? Anything else? Design. Okay. The poem design, like everything has a design. Like wait. There is a design in all of life. Like it can that design can come in darkness or in light. So darkness can highlight about evil and hidden idea. You find it as a Petrarchan sonnet, and in Petrarchan sonnets you find the first 8 lines, the octave, and the sestet. So the writer makes. Can you all hear me properly? Yeah. So writer does an observation which leads to series of questions, no? Like you feel like why the flower is white, because then when it is usually blue, so why it is white. And so like even we get a question like why the spider came here. And why the spider came to this particular flower, and why the spider made the web over there, then what makes the moth to come into that web. So like we find lot of things like this in our life, in our nature, or like see the way the human body is designed. So you find a design in everywhere, in everything, but this design can be for both darkness or for the light, good versus evil. So you find three main characters, no? Big white spider, white flower, and the white moth. So here Frost tries to make us understand that if the design has flaws or evils, the creator must be evil itself. Hmm? So the poem talks about how everything is designed by the hand of God. That idea also, like we get a question like who created all these things in this way. You find like when you see a flower, you find a nice design in it. So who created the flower? So they mostly Frost believes all these things created by the God. So everything designed by the God, and that is fit to the environment according to the needs of the environment. So every little thing uh, you find some animals, their skin, the designs on their skins. So everything is designed in with the purpose, no? Everything has a design with a purpose. So then the little design talks how it fits to the area it lives. Hmm? So that it can survive. The spider makes the web there, the moth goes there, then the spider finds a food from that. So that is how the things design. So the writer talks about that aspect of life. Smaller things in life, how we don't, even though we don't pay attention, everything has the things in detail. Even something small, very a simple thing like a spider, it's like a scary, and we if we take time to observe and recognize the smaller things in life, we can find that we are very fascinated with those things. The overall image suggests the evil can be there in life, and evil can go beyond the innocence of life. Then sometimes the things appear as the things that appear as good can be evil itself. Hmm? So the nature of the things in design, nature of these designs. Like even the poem is talking about how opposing life is. Hmm? How opposing life, how life is like how life is filled with full of oppositions. Lot of things like oppositions are there in life. So that idea. Anything else? Mm, any other question? Okay, then I will see you once again with another live and keep posting videos. Yeah, any other question? If you have, you can type under the comment section and let me know. So when I have time, I will send you a reply. Okay, then, everyone, thanks for joining. We'll meet with another live or another video. Bye.